St. Mary's College, the 178th Commencement Ceremony. Please stand as able for the national anthem. Please remain standing afterwards for the invocation. The national anthem will be sung by graduating senior Julia Zusi. Sorry, I mangled it. I even had it written right.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Good afternoon. I am Maureen Carnett-Smith, Chair of the Board of Trustees of St. Mary's College. It is my privilege to welcome you on their behalf to our 2025 commencement ceremony. This is always a day of mixed emotions for everyone here, I know. Graduates of the class of 2025, I hope you not only enjoy and celebrate your successes and achievements, but also remember and thank those who are celebrating with you, your family, friends, and the members of the St. Mary's community who have accompanied you on the journey to today. We will now begin our ceremony with the invocation. Provident God, we gather today to remember all you have been for us and to celebrate this milestone in the lives of the graduates of St. Mary's College. We give thanks for the many graces you have bestowed on the class of 2025. As they are called by name, may they know that their Holy Cross education has indeed prepared and empowered them to be persons of intellectual vigor, aesthetic appreciation, religious sensibility, and social responsibility. We pray in gratitude for the Sisters of the Holy Cross, founders and sponsors of St. Mary's, for all who have contributed to making the education of these graduates possible. We remember in a special way today all faculty, staff, administrators, and trustees who support the mission of this cherished institution. Mary, seat of wisdom, guide these graduates to be a strong, transformational presence in the world and to always act with integrity, love, and compassion, and so strengthen God's reign of justice and peace. Amen. Please take your seat.
Good afternoon. I'm Katie Conboy, president of St. Mary's College, and I too welcome you to the St. Mary's College 2025 commencement ceremonies. As we begin, I would like to read our land acknowledgement statement. We wish to acknowledge and honor the Native people and their traditional homelands on which we stand today. We particularly recognize the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi and the Miami, who have been utilizing this land and its resources for many years and continue to do so today. With deep gratitude, we acknowledge the Native people and their culture within our community, as well as acknowledging the land upon which we gather, pray, learn, and work. Graduates and honored guests, this day is the culmination of so much hard work on the part of our students and many sacrifices on behalf of their families. It is our opportunity, all together, to celebrate their accomplishments and to send them off with all the pomp and circumstance they deserve. We are honored by the presence of our dignitaries on the platform party, our honorees, members of our Board of Trustees, faculty, and Sisters of the Holy Cross, as well as all of your parents, grandparents, friends, and loved ones of the class of 2025. So thank you for coming and enjoy this wonderful day. We will now present the Lumen Christi Award. Lumen Christi is Latin for Light of Christ. The Lumen Christi Award is the highest award that St. Mary's College confers upon an undergraduate student. It is presented each year to a member of the senior class who is an outstanding person of faith, someone who has excelled in leadership and who has had a deep and profound effect on the St. Mary's College community. This year's recipient is an exemplary leader whose service and impact is firmly rooted in a mature faith. Her communion with God compels her to seek communion with others. As someone with a natural curiosity for hearing people's stories, she genuinely desires to encounter others and celebrate what makes them unique, doing so with a welcoming posture that puts others at ease. During times of change, crisis, and polarization, she consistently listens and accompanies her peers with great compassion and great care, making her a trusted leader for students of diverse political and religious backgrounds. She is a true bridge builder who has a deep appreciation for the tensions that exist between the ideals of faith and lived realities, and she takes an active role in reaching out in care and solidarity. Our recipient brought this consistent presence to leadership in a variety of roles, including ministry assistant, mass coordinator, embody intern, and liturgy and music intern. Her faith commitments also led her to pursue leading through action and justice. She has been a regular volunteer at Our Lady of the Road Catholic Worker. She took an environmental studies minor, interned over the summer with Habitat for Humanity, and over spring break this year, co-led our SPES service experience, Cry of the Earth, Cry of the Poor, in Ossining, New York. Her gentle, steady leadership draws out the best in others, fosters the common good, and keeps everyone focused on the bigger goal. People enjoy working with her and being led by her. She has that hard-to-find leadership quality of someone who lives in her own integrity, is well-rounded in a life of faith and justice, and happily lifts up and supports the work of others in their own leadership. One nominator said, "She has allowed Christ's love and light to deeply transform her spirit and it radiates from her in everything she does. Ministry and meaningful impact arise when a person's heart is touched by Christ's love, and that transformation compels them to live in a way that mirrors the example of Jesus. This is Bridget. It is an honor and a pleasure to acknowledge Bridget Hull to be a light of Christ and to bestow on her the 2025 Lumen Christi Award. I have sometimes said that surprises are overrated, but it's really wonderful when you get to surprise someone with something like that. Congratulations, Bridget. And now I'm just going to hold the podium down for a moment until Dr. Colleen Hoover can come and hold it down herself.
Hello, I'm Colleen Hoover, Associate Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies. The Mataliva Award is the highest award the college confers upon a graduate student. The recipient, selected from the cohort completing advanced degrees, is recognized for scholastic distinction and exceptional achievement. This year's recipient is from the Doctor of Nursing Practice program in the Department of Nursing Science. During her time at St. Mary's, this student contributed a great deal of scholarship to the public, as well as service to the college. According to her professor in advanced reproductive health, this student was instrumental in identifying that the National Institutes of Health recommended inaccurate guidelines for a women's health procedure. After notifying the NIH of the policy mistake, she was then added to the list of authors for the amended guidelines. This change in national practice guidelines will have a significant impact for women and will be presented at the Midwest Reproductive Symposium International Conference in Chicago in June. As part of her Doctor of Nursing Practice Innovation project, this student focused her attention on home oxygen fires. Her groundbreaking research will transform the way injuries from home oxygen fires are tracked and addressed within health systems. By identifying significant gaps in coding and data collection, she advocates for a standardized classification system to improve accuracy in electronic health records. This advancement will not only enhance data precision, but also drive meaningful research, inform policy changes, and support the development of targeted interventions to reduce these life-threatening incidents. The impact of her work is already being recognized at a national level, with her findings accepted for dissemination at prestigious nursing conferences, including the Midwest Nursing Research Society and Sigma Theta Tau International Congress. These two examples demonstrate the likelihood that her scholarly contributions will influence healthcare systems and patient care on a national level, and they will continue to impact the future of healthcare. Her scholarship, intellect, and leadership make her a truly deserving recipient of the Mataliva Award. In recognition of her scholastic distinction and exceptional achievement, we are pleased to honor Mary Aubert with the 2025 Mataliva Award.
It's the one underneath. It's the one underneath.
Oh, thank you.
I forgot to give Bridget hers.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Megan Swart, Interim Provost and Vice President at St. Mary's College, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the class of 2025 valedictorians. The remarkable accomplishments of these students is a testimony to the valedictorians' emotional and intellectual intelligence, academic skill, as well as their dedication to hard work and perseverance. It also speaks to their ingenuity in creating their own paths through the many opportunities that St. Mary's afforded them. These individuals not only found their way at St. Mary's, they've taken opportunities to lead and enhance their learning experiences outside of the classroom. We celebrate their accomplishments today, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Catherine Katie Clem completed her Bachelor of Arts with a major in Religious Studies and Theology and an interdisciplinary self-designed major focused on arts, innovation, and leadership. Well, I should give you a moment to get up here. She also completed minors in creative writing and justice studies. She served as the ballet demonstrator for the dance department, performed with the dance ensemble workshop, and was a member of the college's dance team. Katie was awarded multiple research grants at St. Mary's to conduct interdisciplinary research exploring the connections between her various fields of study. Katie is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Our second valedictorian is Molly Minnick. Molly earned her Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with a double minor in Anthropology and History. She was involved in the Political Science Club, serving as president this year. Molly also worked for the Bells Against Violence office as a student advisory committee member. Starting her junior year, she was a research assistant for Dr. Nell Haynes, studying the impact of AI on the value of art. She also participated in St. Mary's Collegiate Choir all 4 years. Molly is from Juneau, Alaska. Our third valedictorian is Piper Ogden. Piper completed her Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education with licensure in reading and a minor in math. She was very active in the Education Club and Fiat, a Marian ministry group. Piper also participated in Dance Marathon on the Riley Family Outreach team. Piper worked on campus at the Learning Tree, as well as a substitute teacher at a local Catholic grade school. Piper is from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Our fourth valedictorian, Bridget Walicki, earned a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in accounting. Bridget has been involved in a variety of roles on campus. Having studied abroad in Ireland, she was inspired to serve as a study abroad peer advisor for the Global Education Office. She also served as treasurer of the college's pickleball club and as a campus ambassador for the multinational accounting firm KPMG. Bridget is from Jackson, Michigan. So please give a warm round of applause for our valedictorians. And now I invite Katie Clem to the podium to offer the valedictory address.
Faculty, distinguished guests, friends, family, and fellow graduates, it is a joy to be here with you to celebrate this milestone. As I reflect on our time at St. Mary's College, I find myself returning to an image that has quietly accompanied us since our very first day, our campus trees. From our first walk down the avenue to our commencement ceremony today, our campus trees have been a witness to our beginnings, our questions, and our growth. At our convocation ceremony 4 years ago, we first heard President Conboy speak of the trees, not just as scenery, but as a way of being. Using our beautiful campus trees as a metaphor, President Conboy spoke of college as a time to deepen our roots and to expand our branches. In that moment, the trees became something more for me, an image of what it means to grow with intention that I have returned to again and again over the last 4 years. I know that the trees have been a point of fascination for many of us. They're woven into our projects, our art, and our thinking. In one moment, these trees invite us into rigorous intellectual reflection, and in the next, they teach us to marvel at a beauty that is much bigger than anything we could ever create on our own. One of my favorite things that I have learned about our trees is that they weren't just placed on our campus by accident. Years ago, Sister Mataliva looked at this campus when it was mostly empty fields and decided to start a tree dedication program. She had a vision for a future St. Mary's College that would be rich with trees once planted with intention and care. Someone who plants a lot of trees holds a slow, steady vision for the future. Tree planting is a long, labored prayer. It's hard work. It's work that requires you to show up with your full-bodied self as you tend to fragile new growth. But it's also a kind of hope, a way of saying, I believe that something good will grow here. What a gift it has been to inhabit a world imagined by someone with such foresight, to inherit a landscape that took time and effort to make so beautiful, to walk around campus and look around and remember that someone cared enough to build something long-lasting. St. Mary's College has always been a place built with this intention. In 1844, women gathered to create a space where women's voices would be valued, hard questions would be asked, and beautiful solutions would be explored. What a gift it has been to find ourselves woven into this sacred work. And so, class of 2025, my hope for us is that we continue doing this sacred work, that we become the kind of people who plant trees, that we look around at the empty places in the world and think, yes, we can cultivate something good here. These past 4 years have taught us how to offer our attention to ourselves, to our world, and to our place in it. We've learned how to start something, even if we won't see the results right away. We've learned how to show up to our work with our whole selves. When I first heard President Convoy speak about the trees 4 years ago, I imagined myself as a single tree, standing alone, roots deep in the ground, branches expanding across a wide, empty sky. But if you've walked around this campus at all, you know that that image of a solitary tree is rarely the case. The trees here grow close together. Class of 2025, I am so grateful to say that our roots will always be intertwined. You all are wild and precious and beautiful and complex, and it has been the greatest honor of my life to grow alongside you. As our branches now extend beyond the St. Mary's campus, I pray we never forget the gift that we shared here. May the beauty of these years stretch us and steady us in all that comes next. May we remember these years as a time where we knew that we belonged to something bigger. And may the gifts that we were given here sustain us through all of the wonderful, complicated, and breathtaking moments still ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our honorary degree recipients. Sylvia Acevedo. The Girl Scout mission speaks to the vision we have for all girls. Girl Scouting builds girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. You, Sylvia Acevedo, embrace this mission wholeheartedly. From the years you spent as a Brownie and a Girl Scout, to your academic study, to your professional career as a rocket scientist at NASA, to leading ultimately the Girl Scouts of the USA as their chief executive officer. Your contributions as an impactful leader have influenced thousands of young people and will continue to do so for many years to come. From an early age, teachers and other adults recognized your intelligence and potential. You excelled in school and were always a voracious reader. Inquisitive and ambitious, you became active as a Girl Scout, learning how to create your own opportunities, how to lean into your own confidence, how to build the skills of resilience and perseverance. Clearly, you always met your cookie-selling goals. Graduating with honors from high school, you were intent on attending college despite a guidance counselor's advice that girls like you don't go to college. You not only attended college, graduating with honors in industrial engineering from New Mexico State, you also received a full ride fellowship to Stanford University, where you were among the first Hispanic students, male or female, to earn a master's in industrial engineering. A remarkable career followed. Working as a rocket scientist for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory on the Voyager 2 mission to Jupiter, climbing the executive corporate ladder in technology, and driving market expansion and innovation at several Fortune 100 companies, including Apple, Dell, and IBM. You also remain true to your Girl Scout roots. A strong civic and education leader, you have continually advocated for underserved communities and women's causes. Appointed a White House Education Commissioner under President Obama, you helped shape national early childhood education policies. Perhaps your greatest impact, however, was as CEO of the Girl Scouts. Under your transformational leadership, the Girl Scouts launched 146 new badges in STEM, entrepreneurship, civics, and the outdoors, fueling over 1 million STEM badge achievements. Girls now learn binary code through construction paper bracelets or build pom-pom catapults out of cups, straws, and rubber bands. You've been recognized widely for your accomplishments in business and education, including with honorary degrees from Washington College and Duke University. Because of your formidable leadership that began as a young Girl Scout and continues today, and because of your innovative work to inspire generations of young girls and women to recognize and fulfill their potential, St. Mary's is proud to bestow upon you today, Sylvia Acevedo, the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Sister Helen Prejean. Saint John of the Cross, Carmelite saint, mystic, and doctor of the Church, who endured imprisonment, persecution, and public disgrace, tenderly wrote, "In the evening of life we shall be judged on our love. By that measure, your life overflows with love, Sister Helen Prejean. The majority of your life has been spent loving those who have been judged and often forgotten, those imprisoned on death row. You have counseled them pastorally, advocated for them, and pressed for systemic change for the death penalty in the United States. Almost 45 years ago in 1982, you answered an invitation to correspond with Patrick Saunier, who had been sentenced to death for the murder of 2 teenagers in your home state of Louisiana. However, it wasn't a simple invitation that you answered, but a calling, one that significantly altered the trajectory of your life. You wrote to Patrick and became his spiritual advisor, eventually accompanying him to his execution. After witnessing him and another prisoner be put to death, you realized that this lethal ritual would remain unchallenged unless its secrecy was stripped away. You turned your experiences into the book Dead Man Walking, an eyewitness account of the death penalty in the United States, which became an international bestseller and later an Academy Award-winning movie. During a time when national support for the death penalty was over 80% and over 90% in Louisiana, you worked diligently to change society's perspective, embarking on a speaking tour that continues today. Dividing your time between educating the public, campaigning against the death penalty, counseling individual death row prisoners, and working with murder victims' family members, your commitment has been unwavering. Your mission has taken you to all 50 states and even to the Vatican, where your entreaties to both Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis have helped shape Catholic opposition to government executions. You are a tireless advocate, a loud voice, speaking on behalf of those unseen and unheard. And you remind all of us that we must care for and fight for the dignity of all human life. In your own words, quote, "My faith is that the deepest love has got to be not just for those of us who are beautiful and lovely and loving people themselves, but those that others consider human waste," end quote. You have taught us that everybody's worth more than the worst thing they've ever done in their life, and that everybody can be more. Because you continue your hard, good work as the most prominent voice against capital punishment in the United States, because of your resolute commitment to social justice, and because you fulfill Jesus' exhortation to love the least of our brothers and sisters, St. Mary's College is proud to bestow upon you, Sister Helen Prejean, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Mary McAleese. In his first public words just over a week ago, newly elected Pope Leo XIV said, "Peace be with all of you." This simple statement may have brought great joy to you, Dr. Mary McAleese, for peace has always been a cornerstone in your highly accomplished career, most notably during your tenure as President of Ireland. Growing up Catholic in a Protestant neighborhood in Belfast, you were a first-hand witness to the sectarian violence known as the Troubles that had blighted Northern Ireland for decades. Division and conflict were a defining element of your childhood and teenage years. Yet despite the bitter divisions between people, you became friends with local Protestant youth, describing this as the greatest gift I could have been given, helping you to understand a different faith in new ways. You pursued a law degree and eventually became a law professor and rose in faculty rank to later be named the first female pro-vice chancellor of Queen's University of Belfast. In 1997, you became the 8th President of Ireland, not the first woman, but the first person in this role from Northern Ireland, which was even more remarkable. The theme throughout both your first and second terms in office was building bridges. Your leadership in the peace-building process between the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the United Kingdom led to the signing of the Good Friday Agreement of 1998, which effectively ended decades of civil unrest and brutal violence in Ireland. Your vision and your commitment to ending conflict, coupled with quiet diplomacy, also resulted in Queen Elizabeth's historic first state visit to Ireland in 2011. Since retiring from office in 2011, you obtained both a licentiate and a doctorate in canon law from the Pontifical Gregorian University in Rome, with research focused on human rights and children's rights in the Catholic Church. Your longstanding work in justice, equality, social inclusion, education, and reconciliation continues today. You serve as chair of the advisory board for the University of Notre Dame's Ansari Institute for Global Engagement with Religion, and as a member of the Council of Women World Leaders, an international network of current and former women presidents and prime ministers who mobilize for collective action. And you are a frequent speaker to international audiences about peace and reconciliation. You continue all this good work while serving as Chancellor of Trinity College, Dublin. Because of your deep and profound commitment to rebuilding broken communities and fractured relationships, because of your lasting impact in the fields of law and social justice, and because you represent the commitment to lifelong learning that St. Mary's instills in its graduates, St. Mary's is proud to bestow upon you today, Dr. Mary McAleese, the degree of Doctor of Law, honoris causa. And now we'll welcome you to the podium.
I'm proud to give you the 2025 Commencement Speaker, Dr. Mary McAleese.
Good afternoon. How are you all? You're good? You're looking really good. Looking really good. Can I thank the university first for this honor and to share the platform with two such wonderful sisters and to share it with you, also wonderful sisters and your families. It's a very, very special and moving day for me. President, trustees, members of the college community, and especially today's graduands, ladies and gentlemen, there literally is no happier day in the life of a college than the day of graduation, when family, friends, and faculty gather in celebration of the success of this university, this college's students. Students, you've had to do the relentless work. Convincingly, you have met all the tests set over these past years, and now you will carry away, in a few short minutes, the valuable hard-earned documents that will open doors to you, opportunities to you, that will lead to very exciting chapters in your lives. I'm so proud to be able to share this day with you, when each of us, in a really very special way, becomes a trusted ambassador for St. Mary's. It's over 50 years since I sat where you're sitting, though in a much, much different place. Like you, I had earned, unlike being offered an honorary doctorate, I'd earned my degree the hard way, the way you did, after 4 years of books, libraries, papers, cramming, crying, and very occasional student shenanigans. Honestly, I hadn't the foggiest idea of what life held for me. I certainly never imagined a day like this when my lived life would prompt a wonderful college of this caliber to offer me an honorary doctorate in this great occasion, and I value it so deeply. I'm so very grateful. I've come to you today from Trinity College in Dublin, founded in the 16th century, in 1592. Women were not admitted until the early 20th century. The provost of the day, a very eminent and great man, we are told, had decreed women would enter the college over his dead body. So he died in 1904 and obviously had the gift of prophecy, because in 1904, the first women entered the college. At that time, Trinity, like many similar institutions, catered to an exclusively wealthy, male, entitled elite. But this college, St. Mary's College, broke that mold many, many years before Trinity College, insisting on the importance of educating women and making sure that a lack of financial resources would not, could not disempower anyone. This place, from its inception, was the gospel in action, a gospel that promises a crucial transformation of our world when love of all humanity, empowerment of all humanity, a welcome for all humanity, and opportunity for all humanity floods the earth, unimpeded by all the old human barriers that kept and still keep God's great family from fully flourishing. On the day I first graduated, my grandmother, father, and mother sat in the audience. I was the eldest of 9 children, one of 60 first cousins, because my family thought they had to increase, multiply, and fill the earth all by themselves. My mother left school at 15 and became a hairdresser. My father left school at 14 and became a barman. Both had great brains, but in their day, access to education was severely limited. Its cost was prohibitive. Their ambitions to become a teacher, in his case, a nurse, in her case, absolutely impossible. But I belonged to the fortunate first generation to benefit from massified, free, second and third level education in Ireland. A generation memorably described by the Irish Nobel laureate Seamus Heaney as having intelligences brightened and unmannerly as crowbars. That line is from his poem entitled From the Canton of Expectation. The generations immediately before me had their expectations severely limited by lack of opportunity and, in our case, political oppression. For them, the chance that I was given was literally like winning the lottery. How they would have loved to have had that chance. But with great foresight and generosity, they encouraged me and my generation, funded me and my generation to embrace the opportunity and to let our lives flourish in ways unimaginable to them. So this gift of education is something really precious still, even today, when sometimes we can too easily take it for granted. I know that none of you do. You know how hard-earned it has been on this day, and your families surely know the sacrifice and investment. Education is the leaven in our lives that allows us to rise, to become the best we can be, to shape our own destinies, to shape our world for the better. So to be here today is in one way to be very lucky. But then, as my grandmother very wisely used to say, you make your luck. And you, members of the class of 2025, you have made yours by investing in your education, by taking on the challenge of a degree, a diploma, a certificate, by seeing the course through, despite often encountering potholes on the way, illness, loss, bereavement, financial problems, self-doubt, broken relationships, all the messy things that can interrupt a life and make us ask of ourselves, what exactly am I made of? How can I cope? And now you know, you coped. You came through, and your strength is now a resource that is not just personal, but is an inspiration to others, a reassurance to the family and friends who accompanied you. And it's a light for all the lives that you have yet to encounter. You matter in this world of ours that so deeply, so urgently needs people of endurance, resilience, focus, determination, achievement, and above all, sheer goodness. People who, as Seamus Heaney says in that same poem, will not swerve from all that your instincts tell you is right action. People who will stand their ground. My own university days were interrupted. I could say they were blighted, in fact, by the outbreak of sectarian warfare, essentially a civil war, on my own doorstep. For I was unfortunate enough to be born in Belfast, Northern Ireland, a sectarian quagmire centuries in the making, where Catholics were second-class citizens. The working-class parish where I grew up was the scene of daily violence and regular sectarian murders, the greatest incidents of sectarian murders in the Troubles that you heard mentioned. My family were Catholics living in a Protestant area where we had, thank God, many Protestant friends and great Protestant neighbours. But it was dominated by anti-Catholic Protestant paramilitaries. They attacked and left for dead my profoundly deaf brother, who thankfully recovered just about. They murdered our neighbour, they machine-gunned our home, they car-bombed my father's pub, intending to kill him, but instead they killed a young mother who died in my father's arms as he went to lift her from the ground, thinking she had just fainted. Her death drove him into a deep and long-standing depression. These were my university days. How was I to cope? In my home and in my church, I heard only words of forgiveness, no words of vengeance. I heard words of pursuing peace, not vengeance, of loving our neighbour no matter what, even those who hated us because of our religious identity. And today I'm so grateful I heard those words over and over. And with the divine grace that came from my baptism, they calmed my youthful, righteous anger. And they helped me to become an apologist for peace, for reconciliation, for good neighbourliness and forgiveness. Some of my friends were not so fortunate. They were recruited into paramilitary organisations, and a number of them have served many years in prison. Many others have died as a result of the conflict. When I became President of Ireland, I dedicated my 14 years as President to building bridges across those centuries of estrangement and bitterness between neighbours. My homeland, thankfully, now enjoys peace, helped in particular by good friends here in the United States, drawn from both sides of the political divide. From first principles, I experienced the phenomenal power of the great commandment to love one another. It allows me to hope that despite the gravitational pull of violence, hatred, which overwhelms generation after generation in century after century in our world, the message and the momentum of that great commandment to love one another will prevail, because we will make it prevail. I hope and pray it will infuse your lives as it has mine. For honestly, I have never encountered anything to equal it. This is your day. Enjoy it and all it signifies. It's an end and it's also a beginning all in one. I said at the start that it is a very happy day, and it is. But this gathering also marks, of course, a scattering, as the dear friends that you have made over these very intimate student years, as they all move on to new pastures. But please do stay strongly in touch with each other. For 50 years later, it's those friends that I made all those days years ago when I sat where you're sitting now, from all backgrounds, all politics, all faiths, those people that I sat beside on my graduation day, today they are my rocks, my joy, the laughter in my life. And if back then we talked about the football matches they were going to play, today we talk about the knee replacements, the hip replacements, and in the case of the men, the prostate problems. But the time between those days and the days today was unmercifully short. So enjoy every one of them. Make the most of all of them. I hope you will be to each other all of that, the rock, the joy, the laughter, the support in each other's life. Because that is what St. Mary's is to each of you. It's the gift that it is to each of you. I wish you all so well and leave you with a very well-known Irish blessing. May the roof above us never fall in, and those beneath it never fall out. God bless.
And now, President Conboy, I present to you the candidates for the graduate and undergraduate degrees in course. I certify that they have fulfilled all the requirements for their particular degrees. And I ask that you, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, and with the recommendation of the faculty of St. Mary's College, confer upon them the degree which each has earned.
Thank you, Provost Zwart. I will do so, and we will begin the ceremonies.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy White, and I am the Director Advising here at St. Mary's. I have the distinct pleasure of reading the names of all the graduates today. Graduates, as you return to your seat, a photographer will take your photo of you holding your diploma. Audience, out of respect for each graduate, please hold your applause until all of the names for each degree have been read so that everyone may hear their name as it is announced. The degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice is conferred upon Mary Therese Aubert, Family Nurse Practitioner. Sandeep Bains, Family Nurse Practitioner. Colleen Mary Bonzer, Family Nurse Practitioner. Hannah Chenoweth, Family Nurse Practitioner. Danielle Renee Dobe, Family Nurse Practitioner. Lee Hannah Fleggy Schley, Family Nurse Practitioner. Lauren Brianne Canary, Family Nurse Practitioner in absentia. Antonia Marie McIntyre, Adult Gerontology Acute Care. Kendra Elizabeth Osinski, Adult Gerontology Acute Care. Allison Tomei Spruill, Family Nurse Practitioner in absentia. Taylor Alexis Torres, Family Nurse Practitioner in absentia. Kathleen Mary White, Family Nurse Practitioner. The degree of Master of Science is conferred upon Claire Delaney Bartz, Speech Language Pathology. Rachel Borg, Speech Language Pathology. Ishel Brito Ascol, Speech Language Pathology. Claire Marie Brogan, Speech Language Pathology. Lauren Elizabeth DeVries, Speech Language Pathology. Grace Kelly Enright, Data Science. Sarah Hagan, Speech Language Pathology. Sarah Dorothy Harmon, Data Science. Luann Hernandez Montano, Speech Language Pathology. Alyssa Page Himshoot, Speech Language Pathology. Andy Larissa Kaiser, Speech Language Pathology. Elizabeth Ann Kleindenst, Speech Language Pathology. Olivia Jean Mann, Speech Language Pathology. Anna Frances Martin, Speech Language Pathology. Olivia Marie Miller, Speech Language Pathology. Molly Catherine Puglisi, Speech Language Pathology. Brittany Ann Rank, Speech Language Pathology. Katrina Rose, Data Science. Bailey Lynn Siglo, Speech Language Pathology. Sophie Lane Stratton, Speech Language Pathology. Carly Lynn Tittle, Speech Language Pathology. Hannah Mary Urbanski, Speech Language Pathology. Jensen Weaver, Speech Language Pathology. Madeline Angela Johann, Speech Language Pathology. The degree of Master of Science in Nursing is conferred upon Courtney Lauren Chucky. Annie Elizabeth Enrietto. Sadaf Iqbil. Brooke Elizabeth Montgomery. Sky Lynn Sharp. Anna Squires. The degree of Master of Social Work is conferred upon Riley Catherine Eveston. Caroline Marie Ariana Thalen Myler. Mary Alessandra Noon. Isabella K. Pettigrew. I do need to let you know that the honors listed in the commencement program is based on each student's cumulative GPA at the time of printing, which was prior to the end of this semester. Final degree honors, which is what is reflected on the diploma, is determined after the student has successfully completed all degree coursework and graduation requirements. Audience, again, please try to hold your applause until all names for each degree have been read so that everyone may hear their name. The degree of Bachelor of Arts is conferred upon Monica Belen Alvarez, Art, cum laude. Roseanne Elizabeth Andrewich, English Literature and Creative Writing. Amekthi Avila, Psychology. Ana Victoria Baca, Global Studies, Spanish, summa cum laude. Mary Margaret Baki, Political Science, History, cum laude. Jada Beasley, Physics. Maria Nicole Belcastro, English Literature. Grace Elizabeth Bennett, Communication Studies. Jessica Bickle, Sociology, Psychology, magna cum laude. Claire Elizabeth Bossert, Speech Language Pathology, cum laude. Rihanna Marie Broadbeck, Sociology. Julia Therese Bubb, Speech Language Pathology, magna cum laude. Mary Lois Burke, Elementary Education, cum laude. Jada Andrea Capellan Valles, Communication Studies, magna cum laude. Emma Irene Caratini, Elementary Education, cum laude. Adair Daly Carmody, Communication Studies. Ashley Bridget Chevariot, Communication Studies, cum laude. Sarah Olivia Clark, Humanistic Studies, cum laude. Catherine Diane Clem, Religious Studies, ISDM Arts, Innovation, and Leadership, summa cum laude and co-valedictorian. Claire Elizabeth Clement, Political Science, magna cum laude. Caitlin Margaret Clifford, Elementary Education. Julia Sophia Colleran, Humanistic Studies, cum laude. Nora Elizabeth Como, Religious Studies, cum laude. Mary Therese Connolly, English Literature. Sydney Conway, Elementary Education. Guadalupe Delgado, Speech Language Pathology, Spanish. Lily Michelle DeYoung, Elementary Education, magna cum laude. Kylie Rain Downey, ISDM, Health and Human Services. Margaret Elise Dunn, Sociology, Statistical and Actuarial Mathematics, summa cum laude. Caroline Dutton, History, summa cum laude. Tenley Edwardson, Music. Catherine Enright, Creative Writing, Humanistic Studies, magna cum laude. Valentina Espinoza Sanchez, ISDM, Performance and Social Behavior. Mary Therese Fian, Elementary Education, magna cum laude. Chelsea Jean Fox, ISDM, Entrepreneur. Lillian Rose Fry, Speech Language Pathology, magna cum laude. Paige Lorraine Fueling, Economics, summa cum laude. Cassandra Galvan, Psychology, cum laude. Abigail Lucia Garcon, Elementary Education, cum laude. Olivia Gleason, Psychology. Taya Adrienne Halamka, Psychology. L. Olivia Haney, Communication Studies, summa cum laude. Margaret Mary Hanson, ISDM, Health and Human Services. Abigail Lee Harnish, Elementary Education, summa cum laude. Catherine Harrington, Elementary Education. Teresa Ann Hayes, Religious Studies, Communication Studies, cum laude. Emma Heller, Elementary Education, summa cum laude. Ashley Helwig, Elementary Education. Michaela Lynn Hernandez, ISDM, Horticultural Psychology. Maria Hernandez, Sociology. Kalina Hungel, Psychology. L. Maxine Huyen, Speech Language Pathology, magna cum laude. Bridget Maria Hull, English Literature, Humanistic Studies, summa cum laude. Joanna Maria James, Psychology, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Jannings, Communication Studies, Environmental Studies, summa cum laude. Leilani Alyssa Jeffrey, Psychology, cum laude. Mia Philomena Jenke, Communication Studies. Sophia Harper Johnson. History, Sociology, summa cum laude. Anais Yasmin Giuliano. Economics, Spanish. Alexis Jerkowski, Psychology. Fiona Catherine Kelsch, Communication Studies, cum laude. Abigail Ann Kowalik, Environmental Studies, summa cum laude. Samantha Parker Kazmerzak, Psychology. Michaela Noel Key, Psychology. Adriana Colette Kaler, Political Science. Grace Elizabeth Lieber, English Literature, Humanistic Studies, Philosophy, summa cum laude. Rebecca Renee Leith, Psychology, cum laude. Jane Charlotte Linehan, Speech Language Pathology, cum laude. Isabel Mary Linus, Environmental Studies. Marie Jane Lunny, Communication Studies, magna cum laude. Kaylin Joy Mott, Statistical and Actuarial Mathematics, summa cum laude. Caitlin Patricia Maguna, Gender and Women's Studies, Sociology, magna cum laude. Julia Maria Mamolente, Psychology. Devin Francis Mangan, Psychology. Allison Kaylee Martin, Psychology. Abigail Elizabeth Martinez, Creative Writing, cum laude. Megan Catherine Martinez, Sociology. Amanda Nicole Massa, English Literature and Creative Writing, cum laude. Sydney Gabrielle May, Psychology, Communication Studies, summa cum laude. Jenna Rose Maiden, Elementary Education, summa cum laude. Phoenix McClellan, Gender and Women's Studies, History, magna cum laude. Grace Alana McAvoy, Statistical and Actuarial Mathematics. Hannah McGillian, Psychology. Morgan Rose McGuire, Speech Language Pathology, summa cum laude. Mary Catherine McKenna, Psychology. Ruby Mesa, Speech Language Pathology, Spanish, summa cum laude. Jayla Irie Mickle, Psychology. Isabel Grace Megan, Political Science, summa cum laude. Madison Nicole Minnick, Elementary Education, magna cum laude. Molly Catherine Champney Minnick, political science, summa cum laude and co-valedictorian. Morgan Alexis Montgomery, psychology. Sophia Monzon, political science. Talia Marie Mora, political science, economics, summa cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Mortensen, elementary education. Claire Nicole Mula, environmental studies, summa cum laude. Kathleen Teresa Mundy, communication studies. Delaney Olivia Nold, speech language pathology, cum laude. Chloe Blair Nozel, communication studies. Emily Jolene Nye, environmental studies. Fiona Lynn O'Byrne, history, philosophy. Jeanette Ochoa Olivas, political science, magna cum laude. Grace Marie Odell, economics. Piper Allison Ogden, elementary education, summa cum laude and co-valedictorian. Taylor Palmer, political science. Chloe Rain Papavangelo, ISDM, integrated social media marketing communication. Vincenza Filomena Paradiso, art, magna cum laude. Hannah Nicole Park, secondary education, magna cum laude. Shayna Parks, creative writing. Sarai Perez, sociology. Gianna Markey Perns, psychology, cum laude. Molly Marie Perns, communication studies. Hannah Kathleen Phillips, art, magna cum laude. Alyssa Grace Pickett-Klimick, speech language pathology, summa cum laude. Magdalena Pujols, economics. Annalyn Pupke, speech language pathology, in absentia. Maura Renee Quinn, communication studies. Tiffany Ragsdale, elementary education. Kaylee Rivette, psychology, magna cum laude. Catherine Reynoso, speech language pathology, summa cum laude. Addison Jean Rivera, speech language pathology, psychology. Elizabeth Rogers, economics, humanistic studies, magna cum laude, in absentia. Valentina Rubio, psychology. Alexandria Nicole Sanders, creative writing, history, summa cum laude. Brittany Madison Sanders, creative writing, history, summa cum laude. Leanne Nicole Saul, sociology, summa cum laude. Kathleen Scheidler, speech language pathology, cum laude. Madison Marie Sexton, political science, Spanish. Taylor Sharp, art. Leanna Marie Silkworth, psychology, sociology, humanistic studies, magna cum laude. Julie Sims, English literature and creative writing, summa cum laude. Caitlin Grace Sizemore, speech, language pathology, gender and women's studies, summa cum laude. Haley Elise Smith, elementary education. Morgan Isabella Springer, elementary education. Elizabeth Grace Stone, philosophy, psychology, magna cum laude. Sierra Stone, sociology. Fanula Mary Sullivan, communication studies, cum laude. Marie Elizabeth Swain, speech language pathology. Eleanor Marie Sweeney, psychology, magna cum laude. Mariana Taskey, ISDM, film, magna cum laude. Shay Rebecca Tiley, communication studies, summa cum laude. Catherine Claire Theriault, speech language pathology, magna cum laude. Mary Elise Udani, English literature and creative writing, psychology, in absentia. Sarah Elizabeth Vakari, art. Samira Araceli Villaverde Mansour, psychology, Spanish. Sarah Wardlow, mathematics, secondary education, cum laude. Evelyn Weaver, philosophy, magna cum laude. Hallie Marie Weaver, speech language pathology, summa cum laude. Mary Muir Macumber Weber Hess, history. Chloe Madeline Rose Weststraight, philosophy, summa cum laude. Brianna Wettergren, history, creative writing. Catherine Mary Grace Whittier, English literature and creative writing, cum laude. Holly Tranae Williams, psychology, cum laude. Angelina Monges Loren Wright, political science, philosophy. Addison Nicole Worcester, Art, Communication Studies. Elizabeth Jean Louise Wyatt, Sociology, Neuroscience, cum laude. Evangelina May Yarber, English Literature, Humanistic Studies, magna cum laude. Emma Smudzinski, Art. The degree of Bachelor of Business Administration is conferred upon Ann Carolyn Adams, Business Administration, Economics, summa cum laude. Callie Jordan Allen, Business Administration, magna cum laude. Claire Bettag, Business Administration. Brooke Elizabeth Borovic, Accounting, magna cum laude. Lindsay Shavariat, Marketing, cum laude. Itavi Cruz Hernandez, Accounting. Shelby Lynn D'Alessandro, Marketing. Catherine Suzanne Doherty, Marketing, cum laude. Karina Duenas, Business Administration. Brianna Ifan, Business Administration. Isabella Marie Viola Fisher, Business Administration, Economics, summa cum laude. Maureen Catherine Galvin, Marketing, magna cum laude. Laura Elizabeth Golubsky, Marketing. Paige Karena Hahn, Accounting, Spanish, magna cum laude. Aubrey Ann Hoff, Marketing, cum laude. Megan Houlihan, Marketing, magna cum laude. Abigail Elizabeth Hutaker, Accounting. Cyan Ariel Liss, Business Administration, cum laude. Paige Lyons, Business Administration. Lauren Marie McIntyre, Business Administration, Spanish, summa cum laude. Catherine Lucille Meyer, Accounting, cum laude. Casey Louise Mohan, I'll say that again. Casey Louise Mohan, Accounting, summa cum laude. I think I need a drink of water. All right. Diana Moreno, Business Administration. Jennifer Neff, Accounting, cum laude. Yoselin Susana Ochoa Salaya, Business Administration, cum laude. Elizabeth Eve Paul, Business Administration, cum laude. Jada June Pham, Marketing, summa cum laude. Jocelyn Marie Porter, Business Administration, Environmental Studies, magna cum laude. Mari Elizabeth Pritalski, Business Administration. Alexis Marie Rausch, Accounting, cum laude. Caden Rieger, Marketing, magna cum laude. Sheridan Kate Riva, Marketing, magna cum laude. Shannon Mary Russell, Accounting, magna cum laude. Sydney Scarbeck, Business Administration, cum laude. Delaney Lee Spearing, Accounting, magna cum laude. Andrea Vera Labiano, Marketing, Global Studies, magna cum laude. Bridget Susan Walicki, Accounting, summa cum laude and co-valedictorian. Margaret Maureen Walsh, Accounting, magna cum laude. Hannah Josephine Weiss, Business Administration. Molly Whitcup, Business Administration, magna cum laude. The degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts is conferred upon Christiana Sarah Singler, Art. The degree of Bachelor of Music is conferred upon Amelia Watson, Music Education. Julia Zusai, Music Education, summa cum laude. The degree of Bachelor of Science is conferred upon Maria Jose Alice Diaz Rodriguez, Neuroscience. Emily Eileen Andrina, Biology, magna cum laude. For her second degree, Amekthi Avila, Biology. Grace Baresi, Biology. Susanna Joan Bernovich, Neuroscience, cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth Bloom, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Cody Nicole Brown, Physics and Applied Mathematics, summa cum laude. For her second degree, Julia Therese Bubb, Chemistry, magna cum laude. Addison Breland Kamadeka, Chemistry. Sarah Elizabeth Simak, Neuroscience. Olivia Grace Coyne, Biology, magna cum laude. Catherine Chow Cruz, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Megan K. Dickman, Chemistry, cum laude. Grace Christina Dillon, Mathematics, cum laude. Bridget Mary Donovan, Chemistry. Sarah Elizabeth Fitzgerald, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Nora Foley, Chemistry. Isabella Rose Gaborik, Biology, magna cum laude. Angelina Grohowski, Biology, magna cum laude. Lauren Miriam Guma, Biology, cum laude. Isabella Grace Guthrie Beckstrom, Statistical and Actuarial Mathematics, summa cum laude. Cora Haddad, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Abigail Elizabeth Hansen, Biology. Kieran Slate Hay, Physics. Maya Hudson, Mathematics. Kathleen Therese Hurley, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Madeline Elaine James, Biology, cum laude. Grace Donna D. Johnston, Biology, cum laude. Georgette Ann Kurzman, Neuroscience, magna cum laude. Ellen Michaela Kevin, Statistical and Actuarial Mathematics, magna cum laude. Olivia Rose Lampani, Biology. Tegan Bay Maddox, Biology, magna cum laude. Alexis Rose Miller, Chemistry. Natalie Grace Moore, Computing and Applied Mathematics, magna cum laude. Monique Morse, Physics. Elizabeth Nelson, Neuroscience. Ashley Marie Nimchek, Mathematics. Kara Aisha Nugroho, Computing and Applied Mathematics. Anna Orendane, Chemistry, in absentia. Erin Alana O'Rourke, Biology. Samantha Rose Pajak, Biology. Elizabeth Parker, Chemistry. Zoe Fenning, Biology. Grace Elizabeth Renchen, Neuroscience, magna cum laude. Madeline Rose Reynolds, Biology, cum laude. Aria Richards, Chemistry. Sydney Marie Sanders, Mathematics. Brooke Ann Schrader, Neuroscience. Julia Christine Schutz, Chemistry, summa cum laude. Anna Marie Schwegel, Biology. Judith Guadalupe Sita, Chemistry. Mary Catherine Smith, Chemistry, magna cum laude. Kara Stacy, Biology, magna cum laude. Kennedy Nicole Zabo, Biology. Eduarda Tartarella Nascimento, Biology, summa cum laude. Abigail Rose Titama, Biology. Caitlin Christine Tokars, Mathematics, magna cum laude. Catherine Alexandria Valdez, Biology. Reagan Jean Van Dyne, Biology. Lucy Charlotte Wasserman, Biology, magna cum laude. Megan Elise Westman, Biology, magna cum laude. Olivia Lauren Wright, Biology, cum laude. The degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing is conferred upon Sierra Abner, cum laude. Lydia Marguerite Alexander, cum laude. Riley Lindsay Bartle. Lucy Elizabeth Brown, summa cum laude. Megan Jennifer Brown, cum laude. Elena Marie Campbell, magna cum laude. Andrea Grace Canaday, cum laude. Sincere Ari Cannon, magna cum laude. Vanessa Solis, magna cum laude. Karina Nicole Senkush. Megan Ann Chase. Eileen Barbara Coyle. Fionnuala Ann Elizabeth Criswell Carter. Anna Grace Ebert, magna cum laude. Erin Grace Fitzgerald, cum laude. Magdalene Grace France. Ava Ganti. Isabella Lena Gardini. Caroline Patricia Galt. Brooke Erin Geary, summa cum laude. Natalie Gonzalez, cum laude. Caitlin Gornick, cum laude. Emily Catherine Herman, cum laude. Brianna Eileen Haup, summa cum laude. Amy Elizabeth Johnson. Mary Grace Kaczynski, magna cum laude. Molly Morgan Kearns, cum laude. Caitlin Grace King, magna cum laude. Fiona Claire Lanahan. Margaret Mary Lawler. Francesca Davina Leo. Catherine Elise Lucas. Morgan Catherine Mahaney, magna cum laude. Mackenzie Lee McDaniel. Lydia Love Mensil, magna cum laude. Olivia Marie Monaco. Elena Renee Oriens, magna cum laude. Victoria Lynn Parent. Marissa Nicole Schneider. Emma Nicole Schroeder. Ava Lily Schult, summa cum laude. Abigail Rose Seaton. Allison Marie Shears, magna cum laude. Caitlin Shelby. Catherine Rita Spybrook, cum laude. Carolyn Rose Stegmeyer, magna cum laude. Ellie Grace Stumpf, cum laude. Anna Topping. Monica Joan Hugo, cum laude. Anna Maria Vasta. Emma Kate Wellsteed. The degree of Bachelor of Social Work is conferred upon Courtney Ann Bean. Haley Marie Casares. Erin Hope Chavez Fernandez. Sydney K. Madden, magna cum laude. Jenna Christine Neely. Eliana May Oviedo, magna cum laude. Jasmine Jaleel Townsend.
Well, that was something. How about another round of applause? Well, my dear graduates, when you came to St. Mary's, you brought with you many talents and gifts. And during your time here, you have shared those gifts with our community. You've explored your beliefs, sharpened your thinking, honed your craft, developed your practice, built your muscle memory. You've been open to change, to that special magic that happens in the classroom, in the studio, the chapel, the laboratory, the clinic, the theater, the playing fields, all those sacred spaces of this campus and our surrounding community. And for some of you, the international community. This work has made us proud, and I hope it has made you proud. Whether you're an undergraduate or a graduate student, you have grown and developed during your journey here. At this moment of change and entering into the next unknown, I thought you might like to hear what Sister Mataliva told alumni when they returned to campus for a reunion in 1959. Your own futures, she said, so full of promise and expectation, all ride at anchor for the moment here, but only for the moment. Life bears you out to sea on many tides, on diverse and conflicting currents. Sister Mataliva then reflects on one of the great works of Western literature, the Aeneid, where the central character literally ships out into the unknown. She describes how Aeneas flees from his home, carrying his household gods over tempestuous waters to a strange new world. The word new, she notes, has a double significance. The Latin shores which received Aeneas were new to him, but reciprocally, he brought to them a new vitality, a new culture. This, she said, is the journey, the mission of every college graduate everywhere, always, to bear the vitalities of youth to a world awaiting them. Bear your vitalities to a world awaiting you. This is my charge to the graduates. Sister Mataliva made those remarks over 65 years ago in a very different world. But I think her words resonate in new ways in our increasingly global society, in a world of deeply linked cultures where you will find exciting and unexpected shores, whether you go back to your hometown, to the next town, or halfway across the world. And whatever you do, do it with love. When we lost Pope Francis recently, I reflected on his insistence that a Catholic university must focus on a shared search for truth, a greater horizon of meaning, lived out in a community of knowledge where the liberality of love is palpable. I know we have encouraged you at St. Mary's to build a community that is, above all, a loving one where we approach each other with our hearts open, where we meet each other with the expectation that there is no one you couldn't love if you knew their whole story. And we had examples of that in our honorees today who have lived their lives in that way. So take what you have learned here and go out and make a difference. You can do this in small ways or in large ones, in local or in global contexts, but be bold, think big, raise your voices in the spirit of dialogue in any space that requires it. Solve real problems, excel and create community in your personal and professional worlds. Work for justice, lift up the marginalized, embrace new challenges and opportunities. Keep stretching, keep growing, keep the faith. In short, bear your vitalities to a world awaiting you. I hope you will have great discoveries wherever the tides and currents of life take you, and also that those tides turn and bring you back often to your alma mater. Thank you.
The ceremony will end with the recession. The stage party will exit first, and students will follow. Students will end the recession in front of the Student Center. Audience members, please remain in your seats until the recession is complete so we can get everyone out the door. But first, will the graduates please stand and join graduating senior Tenley Edwardson in the singing of the Bells of St. Mary's.
Oh, bells of St. Mary's, we always will love you. With your inspiration, we never will fail. Your chimes will forever bring sweet memories of you. So proudly ring out while we sing for you and for me. Saint Mary's, we hear your voice calling. Your old girls, your young girls, the girls you love best. To you, alma mater, with beauty and thralling, we bring our hearts, we sing our praise, beloved and best.